Okay, so lesson 3-4 is multiplying integers. You should have something like this in your notes already. If you don't, make sure you kind of get something written, okay? So I'm going to skip this for now. But here are the rules you need to know for multiplication. Now, if you don't have them written down, you need to make sure you get them written down. Let's even take out the word quotient. We'll come back to that later. Okay? So, when you're multiplying two numbers that have the same sign, the answer is positive. Do you have something like that in your notes? Okay? When you multiply something of two different signs, the answer is always negative. Do you have something like that written in your notes? Those are the two most important things you need to have today. Okay? And then I had a little chart to kind of give you an idea of what happens here, and just a little example. So, like if my first number is positive, my second number is positive, my answer is going to be positive. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Two different signs. Look, if I have two different signs, both of my answers are negative. And if I have two negative signs, my answer is always positive. That's one thing that a lot of people get wrong, is this one right here. If I have a -4 and a -3 and I multiply them together, my answer is positive. So if you can remember, if you have two of the same signs, your answer is always positive. Two different, always negative. Okay? That was pretty much the basis of yesterday, which is kind of nice because it was a pretty easy lesson, I feel like, for me to be gone for. But let's go through some practice ones quick. Let's not do that. We're going to go through. Okay. Let's talk about something like this. First of all, before I even do that problem, do I know what sign it's going to be? What sign is this going to be up here? It's going to be negative. And then a negative what? Negative 18. Okay. Positive or negative? Positive. My answer is what? Positive 25. Okay. And then let's see over here. What about something like this over here? What would you do with something like this? Cadence. Okay, that's one way I could do it. Positive 18 times 2, and that would be 36. Is there another way that somebody would have done this? What would you do, Kaylee? Yep, and you get, okay, and you get positive 36. So does it matter which way? But the only way it doesn't matter, see how we have two of the same signs there? Then you can do whatever one first. If you have different signs in there, then you can't do that, okay? So you have to go from left to right, or remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Did you guys learn that last year? Did we talk about that this year already? I don't know if we talked about it in this class, but I think my 8th graders did. So here, 4 times 2, negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 3, positive 24. Okay. Do you guys have questions on this? Notice how there's going to be a few different ways that you're going to see multiplication. I'm going to go back to this slide. One way you're going to see multiplication is with that times sign. Okay? What's another way you see it? Zane? Yes, the dot. We didn't see the dot. Does everybody know what that means? It means multiply. Got another way, Ryan? When two numbers are right next to each other and there's nothing in between, but a lot of times we'll have like parentheses there. Because if we didn't have those parentheses, it would say 37. So we have to have something there to keep it separate so we know it's multiplication. Cadence. Sure. Sure. So if you have something like this also means multiply. Do we know what A is? But might they tell us what A is? They might. If they say, here's a big misconception. Would you know what the misconception means? It means like people get wrong. Sometimes people do this, like if A is 4, they say, oh, I'm going to put 4 in for A. And they say, okay, the answer is 34. It happens. It happens. What did this person do wrong here, Jacob? He didn't multiply 3 times 4. You're right. So you have to be careful. I've seen this before. So if you put it in there, make sure you're going to multiply. Bish? Got it. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, one other thing I wanted to talk about today was this little number. What's this little number? It's an exponent. What does that mean? What does that mean, Zane? Okay. Very good. What would happen if I did this? What did somebody do wrong there? Ryan? Yes. That 2 tells me I got to take -4 times -4 2 times. That little number has really nothing to do with my problem. It just tells me I'm going to multiply -4 times -4. I need two -4s. That's all it tells me. I'm pretty sure that was in some of your homework yesterday. Pretty sure it was. What about this guy? What if I do this? Is that the right answer? No. What should I have done here, Connor? Yep. And then multiply. Very good. Questions on this again? No? Yeah, that's not too hard. Not too hard. All right, and then you have some story problems. And some of you are like, well, how can I, why are these in here? Well, okay, remember, go back to the first day where we said, okay, if you lose 10 yards, what integer was that? -10, remember? Okay, so we're going to use that same concept here for these story problems. When 32 passengers are on a roller coaster, went through a loop, an average of 65 cents fell out of their pockets. Wouldn't you like to be at the bottom of that roller coaster? I probably would. How much money did the passengers lose? Okay, so how many passengers were there? Okay, and how much did each lose? What integer can I use for that 65? If they lost something, what should it be? -65, right? So 32 passengers, they lost an average of 65 cents times 0.65, negative. And when you do that, you get an answer, and you get a negative answer. That just means that's how much was lost. That's all. Cadence. Mm-hmm. Sure, I'm okay with that, because a lot of times in life you're not going to do it like this. You're going to do it like you normally would, 32 times 65, and you say, well, they lost this much. I'm fine with that. That's fine. Yeah, because to me, it's easier to write it out. Well, they lost this much than put -65 cents or whatever. Yep, that's fine. Definitely. I'm going to stop right there.